Top Democrats wary of missteps with the Mueller investigation, holding a conference call Sunday to hone their message. The leader of the party's campaign arm telling members to test that messaging in their districts while they're home for a two-week recess. All of this comes as support may actually be shifting in their favor. A new CBS poll finds 55% support an impeachment inquiry. Join me now, one of the Democrats up for re-election in 2020, California Congressman Huffman. Sir, good to have you with us this morning.
Good morning, Erica.
Good morning. So you were in a pretty safe district, but I know there is some concern from some of your colleagues in swing districts. So here's a little bit more of what Speaker Pelosi had to say about the politics of impeachment. Take a listen.
Do you have any anxiety at all about any of the stuff we're talking about or anything that we're not talking about impacting your ability to hold control of the House in 2020?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Our first responsibility is to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Is it worth that risk?
I think she's exactly right, and I love hearing the Speaker of the House frame it in those terms. I have long argued that if we just step up and do our constitutional duty, the politics will follow. And I think we're starting to see that.
When you say the politics will follow, what do you mean by that? Because, as we know, the Speaker wants to keep it apolitical.
I think doing the right thing is good politics. And I think for some, we had it a little backwards as we were struggling with, how to step up to and address this moment. But we're in a great place today. There's something about what the president did in this Ukrainian scandal. It is a betrayal of the highest order. And I think it has brought a clarity of purpose and a unity to our caucus and increasingly beyond our caucus. And we're just going to stay very focused on that. It's the right thing to do. It's what the Constitution says we must do. And ultimately, surely it will end up being good politics as well.
You mentioned beyond your caucus. Your colleague across the aisle, Adam Kinzinger, actually gave a direct rebuke to the president over the weekend. Not, I should say, on the substance of the whistleblower complaint, but he was pushing back on how the president is talking about it after the president quoted a supporter who said impeachment would cause a civil war atmosphere. We hear all the time from Republicans and from Democrats what they're hearing from Republicans privately. Give me a sense, what are you hearing in those conversations with your colleagues across the aisle?
Certainly, in my conversations with Republican colleagues, there is I believe, no deep love or loyalty to this president. There is a recognition that he has created a very unforgiving political climate in Republican politics that requires them to stick closely to him. But I think with this latest scandal, with this betrayal of his office, this gross abuse of power that involves our national security, you should see some cracks emerging in that cult of Trumpism.
When do you think we will see those cracks?
Well, you quoted Adam Kinzinger just this morning. We've heard from Mitt Romney. We've heard from Ben Sasse. I think a growing number of Republicans are going to be willing, especially as the public starts to tune in and express its displeasure with the president. I think a growing number of Republicans will be willing to part ways with this president.
The White House, we have seen, ignore subpoenas before. Do you believe it will be any different this time?
It's one of the advantages to being in a clear impeachment posture, because as they defy Congress, as they show their contempt for Congress, it simply adds to the counts, potentially, of the articles of impeachment. That's a different place than we've been in the past.
You've said the facts are already, to a large extent, before us. So personally, what else do you need to learn? Who do you need to hear from? Or do you have everything you need today when it comes to impeachment?
I think we have the basic elements of a clear impeachable offense. This president betrayed his oath of office, abused his power in the worst possible way in this Ukrainian scandal by urging a foreign leader to meddle in our election, to dig up dirt on his political opponent, and it's directly against our national security interest. Those elements are all clearly met, but we've still got to draw forward the specific facts, and that'll happen through hearings, through first-person witnesses that will be very compelling in the days ahead, and then we'll see where this goes. But I do believe that the elements and the facts are there to support articles of impeachment.
You are not on one of the committees investigating the president, but you are on two committees with some major agenda items: infrastructure, climate crisis. Yeah. The president has said this is all a distraction, and this is going to keep a lot of that work from getting done. Can you get anything else done with impeachment as a focus?
We can and we will. This House has already acted on just about all the elements of our For the People agenda. We have delivered legislation to the Senate on even something that previously had been hard to address, gun violence reform. We have addressed prescription drug pricing, and we're going to see a major bill on prescription drug prices in the days ahead. We're working very hard on that right now. We're working hard on infrastructure. If we could get the president to agree with us on the pay for and other elements of an infrastructure package, we have the opportunity to deliver that for the American people. And so there's going to continue to be a lot of work going into delivering on that agenda. But we can do two things at once, and I think we will.
Congressman Jared Huffman, appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, President Trump ramping up his attacks on the whistleblower as Congress gets closer to hearing directly from that person. A veteran intelligence official joins us to respond next.